strip mall, here's a singing when the sun goes down. He had all the answers about the way things ought to be. Some folks came to listen, some folks couldn't see that there's pain in his fingers, pain in his heart, trying to make a living, searching for a brand new start. Who needs somebody that don't buy everything, give everything he owns just for a chance to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, the indomitable duo from the Hudson Valley, let's give a big yee-haw for the hurricane and nor'easter survivors, Carl and Benzee.
Hey, we paid these guests good.
All right, that was fantastic, buddy.
Great, man.
I like that little studio audience.
So you like being in Manhattan and everything.
Very good. We want to welcome everybody that's watching in Manhattan and also in the Hudson Valley. Another episode of Keeping Country Strong. We got a very big show tonight, folks.
That's right. And why don't you bring our first guest up, and we can talk about what they're doing.
Okay, well, it's funny because it's a great bowling alley in Middletown, New York, Quinnz Pinz, and the owners are with us tonight, Robert and Jamie, so come on up. Robert and Jamie from Quinnz Pinz in Middletown, New York.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hi.
How you doing tonight? And you know where Quinnz Pinz is located? Right across from one of my favorite hot dog places.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We always talk a little about hot dogs, so.
He's a hot dog fan. Well, I love hot dogs, too.
Who doesn't?
We go on hot dog trips with Benzee here.
They have great, but you guys have great food too. So, my son loves the pizza. He wants to eat. My son bowls in the Bantam League on Saturday mornings, and he wants to have a slice of pizza at like 9 o'clock in the morning. And you're selling pies worth. It's amazing. All the kids want pizza.
Listen, if I come over and bowl, can't you cover the gutters? So.
We have bumpers for you, definitely.
So they don't go in the gutter.
Definitely. But
Either that or a
there's
magnet.
nothing wrong with being in the gutter, you know.
Well, I don't want to go into that conversation. So what do you guys got coming up, or what are you doing down there?
Well, basically, we just did a renovation this past year, and we redid the whole facility. We
nice.
updated the equipment, we updated the lanes, and just made it super fancy. So.
Great. And do you still have when I was there, I seen the arcade thing for the kids or something. Is that still there?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we added an arcade, a different element to our birthday party packages and things for the kids to do. Kind of made
it's really nice. I got to tell you, we were there for a few minutes, but it's really clean, really nice. You got a nice place there.
Thank you.
My son's had 2 bowling parties there, birthday parties, with the arcade and the rooms that you have, the party rooms. Excellent. I mean, the kids love it. And the price is right. The prices are very reasonable.
And you made it out alive.
We made it out alive. I don't know how. When you have 20, 25 kids.
Chaos. It really is.
We've had some of them on here.
And it seems like every time, you invite all the kids from the class, from a school class, and a lot of them don't bowl, which is good because for you guys, it brings kids into bowl, and they might want to be interested in enjoying the league
more often.
But a lot of times, my son's like the only one that really knows how to bowl. So, and he's been taught the right way by the instructors. So they'll all be watching him, and they'll want to just watch him keep bowling instead of bowling themselves. And I'll have to tell the kids, it's your turn to bowl, and they're not really sure what they're doing.
You're not bowling. That's about it.
It's fine.
We teach a class on Sunday mornings.
There you go. That's what
Bobby
I
and myself.
Oh, do you?
Kids from 2 all the way up to 16
wow.
on how to bowl, and we have a lot of younger kids that are trying now. So it's. They're even, doing the approaches.
Now you have the
and
shoes
stuff.
and the balls and everything there. People can get there. They don't have to bring their own.
Yeah.
Just so people out there, people got to get more familiar with it. It reminds me of like when they have the polka music. I've heard people go polka music, and even with bowling, they'll say bowling, and the polka music's too. Until you try it, and you go out and see like a real big polka festival beer blast, it just sucks you right in. And bowling can be the same way and then you get into it and
yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's a social outlet.
Bowling is the #1 participating sport in the country. So
great.
I believe that's for sure.
Yeah.
But you try to make it. You've tried to make it an entertainment spot I remember when he, because we were there throughout the renovations. He started bowling like 3 years ago, so we saw it, you know, and the new couches, the new lanes. I mean, it's fantastic. The place it's great. And then the video screens.
Yeah, we just put like a little trendy twist to it.
Yeah.
You know.
And then one night, don't you have a DJ? I know you have different things there where people can actually win money. I heard it on the radio. I don't know what it was, but
We have, you know, jackpot bowling on Saturday nights, you know, and, you know, it's fun. We add some colored pins to the deck, and, you know, we have different money shots. There's a progressive jackpot, you know, it's got as high as $1,000.
nice.
Very cool.
Live MC, Jack.
I know a
we
ringer
have.
I could bring down. We could probably clean up there.
No, well, you have to get the pin has to be in the right spot, right?
Well,
the
yeah,
colored
that's
pin,
for the-
just not.
Your
Money
ticket
shots.
has to be called for the money shot, and then
Okay.
you have to get that strike if your ticket's
You
called.
gotta get
but-
2 strikes. It's, you know.
It's hard.
Yeah, we give away
Well,
other
it's hard
prizes
for me.
though too.
I'm like a 140 bowler. It's
Yeah,
like
no, it's-
Wow.
No, you don't have to be a high bowler. You just got to get that right shot for that
Yeah,
game.
we have
so,
different money shots, so that was.
and a lot of other prizes on those nights. But we also have a live DJ for our Cosmic Bowling on Friday nights and stuff.
great.
And then college night on
And people can
Wednesdays.
actually have a party right into your club that you have there, the bar.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to call it a bar because it's really nice in there, and you can have their own
lounge,
private party.
It's
a lounge,
private
yeah.
party in
Brendan's
there.
Brendan's
We do
Sports
catering.
Lounge or
Yeah.
lounge.
We
you
have
have all
bands.
the you have
we
the
have
Sunday
live
games,
bands.
the football games on
Actually-
Sundays. You got the NFL
games,
ticket.
We have 12,
You got everything going on there.
12
Yeah, they do
TVs.
promote music. They've had all kinds of music in
Yeah,
there.
we
and
try different
shows.
stuff.
And the pro shop for people interested in buying bowling balls
Well,
and
it's
stuff.
nice
You got
to
a
see
pro
that
shop
you're
there.
like trying every angle because a lot of places it's just bowling, and somehow they seem to fall along the way.
Yeah.
Uh,
We're
because-
trying to go more in the direction of entertainment as a whole instead of just staying in one, you know,
Right.
pocket, so to speak. We just try to get a little diverse
Well, like
with
everything,
entertainment.
you got to bring the youth there. The young people, they get involved and they stay with it probably the rest of their life if they really like it.
Yeah.
What's another cool
You
thing?
bring
You
the
have
whole family.
the four lanes with the couches, kind of not really separate, but where you can rent the lane and you get the whole package and everything, right?
VIP suite.
VIP
yeah.
suite, yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. You're sitting on couches, you know.
It's like
we're at
having a bowling alley in your own living
yeah,
room.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's
Maybe
great.
we can set one up in the middle of the studio here and we just
Watch the
bowl
video
while-
screens. You
Yeah.
have,
Do you know that
videos
listeners,
on
you
and
know
stuff,
a
it's
lot of
crazy.
times in New York State and even Jersey, some of the bars and clubs used to have an alley in the bar. A regular bowling alley in like one lane, but a real alley in the bar.
Yeah. Elks Lodges used to do too.
Yeah, the Elks Lodge, I was going to say, still has like the shuffleboard that's as long as a lane.
Yeah, that's really something. Because I was playing someplace and I could hear pins falling. I'm going, what is
You know
that?
what's- you know what's
You're
really-
bowling in the back in a real bowling alley. It's like,
You know what's really cool in the summer too, is through you. I think it was through the website. Your website's quinnspins.com. Is the free bowling for the kids?
Yeah,
They can
Kids
bowl
bowl
a,
free.
Yeah.
can bowl a free game like every day
Yeah, we
throughout
had
the summer. We took
1,200 kids sign up.
we
last
took
year.
advantage of that
wow,
a couple
that's
of times,
nice. That's a community.
and that's great
yeah.
for the kids to keep. You
Well,
know,
it's a good community thing. And
I mean, it's great.
Yeah, it's just
and you
another
get the
way to get
kids
the
off the
kids
street.
active in the
Yeah.
summer and burn some calories too.
Yeah,
Instead
and
of
still
sitting
they're gonna,
behind TV.
you know, they're gonna still want the soda, the pizza, the popcorn, play the arcade game. The arcade, you can't walk in and out of there without
We
seeing
got a
the
lot of
arcade.
guests tonight. I'm not trying to kick you. Well, you told me to kick you out, but listen. Tell us where you're located and if there's a website or email or something.
You can find us in downtown Middletown at 13 Railroad Avenue, and our website is www.quinnspins.com. And you can like us on Facebook. Ting, just hit the thumbs up, and you know,
That's
we
right. And
connect.
if you see this next week if you see it in Middletown and Newburgh, if you mention you've seen it, they'll give you a cup of coffee. How's that?
Absolutely.
All right,
Ain't costing me nothing. Huh?
I'm getting a cup of coffee Saturday morning.
Hey, we can work
Are they
this
gonna
out.
remember
Every
that?
Every guest we have on, we can work this out.
The staff is great. Oh, shout out to Jen too. I've known
yeah,
Jen
of
for years.
course.
Jen does a great job with it, especially with the kids. It gets so crazy on Saturday
I
mornings.
know. We
there.
have a
It's
really great
crazy.
team. We're very lucky.
It's crazy. People, there's so much
Well,
stuff going
we'd
on.
like to thank you guys for coming.
Thanks for having us.
And we
We
got a couple
appreciate
other
it.
crazy dudes over here that are going to come on and talk about
All
their
right,
thing.
Thank you
thanks for
so
coming
much.
down.
And
Thank you.
for coming
Nice to
down.
meet you
No
guys.
problem.
So you guys can go on. We'll give you the boom. They got the
Thank you to Robert
part of our show. the
and
boom.
Jamie from Quinn's Pins on Railroad Avenue in Middletown. Great bowling lanes, and I can vouch for them. My son bowls there.
Yeah, that's very.
We bowled there too,
Very
so
clean place.
very nice. Now, you want to get our other buddies up here?
Yeah, you introduce them because.
All right, we got straight from
Troublemakers.
the lower Hudson Valley, Cadillac Pat, an up-and-coming comedian, and the Murph man. Murph, you're going to join him up here. Come on, let's go, guys.
Come on, Murph.
This is your time. Now, it's funny, we had Cadillac Pat on the first time.
Hey, buddy.
See you again.
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
As always, nice to see you.
Murph,
Thanks
man?
for having me back. You know?
Cadillac Pat won
Tootsie Roll.
won the raffle.
Thank you.
What was it, last year or 2 years ago?
Last year,
We had a
actually,
bus trip
you know, so-
fundraiser for the station, and you won the raffle to co-host one night with us.
I did.
Right.
I won that. That was a lot of
And then
fun.
we find out he's an up-and-coming comedian. So, I mean, so it worked out
Now,
great for you.
You said you did voices or something for something.
I do a lot of voices and stuff at times. My Richard Nixon I did last time, which is really good. And I just got a new one, actually. I do. I don't know if anybody out there has seen Everybody Loves Raymond, but I can do every episode that they ever did in under 30 seconds.
Can we
All
hear it?
right, we're going to have to
wanna
hear
hear
it.
it?
Well,
Go
he
ahead.
knows that show. I don't watch
You
that.
really want to hear it? I'll do it.
Go ahead, go. Yeah, we're here. Let's go.
We got an audience here. They'll let you know.
All right,
Stuff
all right.
comes flying at you.
All right.
Don't worry.
I don't want to do it, Deborah. I hate your mother, Ray. Is this about me? Are you hungry, dear? Marie, food! Just like that, you know.
That's
so
it. That's the whole show. What was that
That's
show
it.
on? Like 10 years, 12 years?
You know what? TBS
That's the whole
runs
show.
it for 3 hours every day, and you know, I just want to gouge my eyes out after the first hour because they just play it so much, you know. And
He
It's
plays
like
it on the bus all the time.
No, that's Seinfeld.
that's Seinfeld. That's a
No,
good show.
Seinfeld.
They should
Yeah.
put that
The
on
same people
instead.
probably
You know?
write it,
so,
though.
but it's a
The
it's
same
good
same
stuff,
formula.
and,
Show about
so-
nothing. It's just basically a show, right?
It's
So what are you doing anyway? You doing
Well,
any comedy shows or anything
no,
good? or-
I'm more independent. I do a lot of things out and just you know at the bar every now and again. I get a couple of beers in me and forget it. Now we're off and running. But
Working for tips.
more or less just working for a beer. But you know, so but I did do an independent study just recently on my own. It took me about 6 months to do.
Okay.
I want to state for the record, though, and everybody, I'm not a doctor. I don't claim to be one, and this is not affiliated with anybody, so I can't get sued here. I know, right? I listened to a lot of music over the last 6 months or so, and there's one thing I've come up with. Older music is 99% better, almost 100% better than newer music. I mean, how do you write a new song these days, you know? So how do you do that? You know, you take some profanity, and you throw in some loud noises and some more profanity, and the kids, they love it. They go crazy for it, but they don't know. They really don't know. My generation, I'm 25, and I'm supposed to like it.
You're old.
I know, right? You know how much Botox it takes to look this good? I mean, it's unbelievable.
What would older music be?
Older
The
music-
90s? I mean, that's
Don't
still
ask
new
me, I'm
music
real-
to
I'm
me.
going
The
back
90s
a
would be
bit.
new
I'm going
music.
back a bit, the mid-'80s
What are
all
we
the way
talking
back,
here?
you know,
Mid-80s, mid-'80s back.
You know,
New
listen-
Kids on the Block is old music
no.
for them.
From like 80, like Culture Club's last hit back.
Hey,
Right? Mid-'80s back.
No, I'm
Is
not.
that what we're
I'm
talking
not a
about?
fan of Marky
When
Mark
me
and
and
the Funky
Benzee was
Bunch,
around,
but,
they
you know,
discovered
so,
fire, so we,
Yeah, so you were listening to it when it was like just a couple of drum beats, but you know, I go all the way back.
From the Little River Band back. That's it.
And there you go.
Like
I'm actually-
1985 all the way back.
All the way back, absolutely. And I heard you mention polka music before, and I'm actually a small enthusiast of polka music, being half German myself. You know what I mean? So it's good stuff, you know. And
well, we
I like that
had
lot,
a
and,
Latino band I was just talking about, and theirs sounds a little bit like polka music.
Really?
Yeah, you'd
I'd
have
like
to
to
come
hear
down and
that.
catch them sometime.
Well, you let me know
Was
when,
that
and I'll be more than
Amistad
happy to come
guys?
down. you know,
Yeah,
so,
yeah, they were
It's
great.
a version of.
Couldn't understand a thing they were playing, but
I don't know what they were even saying, but
Yeah.
excellent.
it
bunch
sounded
of
great
guys.
though.
It was
Oh, I
great.
love-
And they got a
good
big
music,
following.
you know,
All their
so-
family knew it, but I didn't know his name.
I'm actually known when I go into the pub to have a pint or two. I'm actually known for playing the jukebox very, very well. I play a lot of Rolling Stones and I play a little Eric Clapton and stuff like that. And there are many good examples I could give. I mean, you've heard of Bob Dylan, obviously. I mean,
Right.
There's a song, Hurricane, about Hurricane Carter, and this is a great song, you know, which tells a story.
Right.
I mean, try to find a song that tells a story nowadays. I mean, geez, I can't get
Well, I
past
gotta
the music
tell you
and the
something. If
profanity.
you ever
know, so-
look up TimmyGrins.com, he's a
I
rapper.
don't have a computer.
Okay, well.
I actually
yell
don't.
out
He's
Timmy
laughing, but I
Grins, he'll
don't.
show
you
up.
know, so-
Put a light.
wanted a few that
Put a
don't.
light on a cloud.
Go over to
like
Murph's
Batman.
house. Murph's got three
Yeah,
of
he
them
does. He
lined
has
up.
a-
On at all times.
I'm
Right?
going to tell you,
I'm not
he's one of
familiar.
the hottest rappers in Jersey. Never uses foul language, and never does anything where people are getting shot and murdered.
Yeah.
That sounds
very
good.
good
I'll
music
have to check
too.
that out then.
I'm not a rap fan, but
He's
I've
really
listened
good.
to
I've
his
had him on
music and it's
several
good.
times.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds good.
I liked
I'll
it,
have to
and
check
it's good
that out.
music.
And some actual decent rap music, which, my God, that's
You
beautiful.
got to remember, you can't blame any of the artists or anything. It's really the record companies and the producers.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's quick money. That's all they care about. And it's always been like that.
Like I said before, how do they write a song? Throw some profanity and noise together, and you got a song. But back in the day, another good song, Eric Clapton, "Wonderful Tonight." I mean, the whole song, if you listen to it, was about how wonderful his wife looked. And I don't know if you could use that nowadays, given how marriage goes anymore. But she just looked great, So and that was just a wonderful,
Well, Axl
wonderful,
Rose
wonderful
had that song.
And
I used
liked
to
it
love
very
her.
much,
Everybody thought
so.
he was talking about his wife. Here it was about his dog. Guns N' Roses.
Nothing wrong with that, I loved my dog when she was around, So. But
Want to give us a quick impersonation before we get to our?
Yeah, we got to go.
Our-
it depends.
our
It depends what you
musical
want me to
guest.
do. I mean, I could do my Nixon if you like.
Go ahead.
That's the one. He was on the show last time actually. As Mr. Benz, Mr. Richards. It's nice to be back. I have to tell you something. I got on the phone to Cadillac Pat the other day. I said, Cadillac, got to get me back on the show. I got to clear my name. Like I said the last time, and I'll say it again. If I had known I was going to get indicted, if I had known all this stuff was going to come down and I was going to have to resign, I would have gotten a decent tape recorder with an erase button. It's just unbelievable. I had the hippies on one side, I had Congress on the other. How was I supposed to know they were going to order me to turn over the tapes? Just ridiculous.
All right, very good. Cadillac Pat.
Can I just say quickly, fellas?
Go ahead, Murph.
Being I'm an employee of a large utility company, and we just had this
All right, get the guns, boys.
Hurricane Sandy came through. I just want to say, thank you to all the guys that came from all over the country to help us out. This was an unusual storm, and from the utility companies to the public works guys to the first responders, whatever.
Well, there's people out there, they don't realize when it flattens the whole town and there's just dust. The electric is not coming on right away.
There's not much
There's
they
a
can
lot
do.
of work to do, but we've come a long way, and it's been a lot of people got together.
And even if you're watching this in Manhattan 6 months from now, we don't know when it's going to go on.
Yeah.
But the rescue efforts are still going on.
Yeah.
Even 6 months from now, it'll be going on. We know that.
Over
We
in
know that.
Matamoros, we sat on our porch drinking coffee. We want to watch this. We're like that. We want to watch the storm.
Yeah.
And we watched 3 main transformers fenced in there blow up. It was great. It was like watching TV. Wow, look at that! And, but it was serious.
TV was a little
Not
more
great for the
realism
3
to it,
million
right?
people who lost power. Was it more than
This
that?
took reality TV to the next level, I should think.
Combined
You had to be working around the clock.
we were busy, I worked for a major telecommunications company, but all around it was everybody got together, and it was a great effort by all. And
Well, you know what led to this?
Like I said,
You know what led to
thank you
this
to
is
all
they've
of
been
us
telling
for
us
helping
about
us.
these storms coming. I don't know, for the last 10 years, right? Everybody. It's like it's going to be the worst we ever had. And it never happens. Before you know, people are like, it ain't gonna happen. And people are like that. It was like, and then this one just happened to be for the seashore areas. It just wiped them right out.
So.
But,
That is a shame about that, You
Yeah.
should go in the seaside.
How do you like our new set?
I love your new set.
It's changed since you
great.
guys have been here.
It's great. I was.
we're all
wait till
here.
they see you guys in Manhattan, man.
Really?
We're all here to talk about Hurricane Sandy. We're all survivors. We sit here smiling, so that's the main thing.
That's right. Knock on wood.
You
We
can
all
help
made
any
it
of
through.
them, folks. Please do.
Absolutely.
Donate if you can.
It's a noble effort.
Now listen, we got to go to Fred because my wife's giving me that single.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thanks
I got
very
you.
much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you
Thanks
for
for letting me
having
come
me.
back.
Well, say it
Pleasure to
for
be
me.
back.
Sit here, sit tight, listen to the
We
music.
got a
All right,
guy.
that's
We
fine.
got a guy right now. He's played all over the country, and he's with Little Sammy Davis, Midnight Slim, and he ran the band, and they've been with Leon Helms. He's going to talk about all this stuff at Nymus in the morning. One of the best guitar players I ever met, and Mr. Fred Scribner over there. He's going to do a tune, and they're coming right over.
All right.
out on the job. Had to work the sundown. Had to work the sundown. Sometimes till dawn. Woman never comes home. Supper's never done. Probably laying around in the bed sleeping somewhere on the run. Saying, whoa, yeah. Why do you treat me the way you do? You know I work so hard for you, baby. Now you're trying to play me for a fool. Worked hard for you, woman. Everything I done, taking my money, spending on your other man, saying, whoa, yeah. Why do you treat me the way you do? Now you're trying to play me for a fool. I work so hard for you, baby. You know you're trying to play me for a fool.
Come on over.
Fantastic. Good stuff. Unbelievable. We want to thank, once again, we want to thank Robert and Jamie and Cadillac, Pat, and the Murph Man for coming on the show.
Even though this
I'll be the bookend.
So I know you. Why don't you introduce? This is Fred Scribner and
LaurieAnn. I go by LaurieAnn. That's
okay.
nice.
I never could remember your last name anyway.
That's all right. You don't need to know.
It's a long one. I used to get lost in that. It's like.
It's okay. LA for short.
There you go. That's a new.
So how you been?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Considering he's older than I am, he's been around forever. No, he's not. Been around forever.
I'm close.
Yeah. Well, we keep on going,
sure.
and I've known you for 20 or 30 years, and I got to tell you, I got to thank you for the Sid's song that you did with me.
Oh, thank you.
Because
I forgot all about that.
They made a lot of money to start the first Sid's chapter in Hudson Valley, and Fred was kind enough to do all the guitar parts on the CD. And if you ever want a copy, I'll get you a copy.
Yeah, I think I would like a copy of that.
But it's called A Falling Leaf, and it was a nice, beautiful song for Sid's. So thank you.
Funny. Oh, you're more than welcome. Thank you for having us.
All right, now what do we got going here? What is this project, anyways?
Well, we got a great blues and music festival coming up at the Sullivan in Rock Hill, New York. My old friend Randy Resnick, who used to book us, Sammy and us at the Dodge many years ago, has been running Bernie's Holiday Restaurant and the Sullivan Hotel next door, which was just renovated to the tune of $4 million, and definitely, it smells like a new hotel, and it's a
Oh,
luxury
great.
This is
hotel.
good.
Great.
And it's
This
not
is
what
good.
you would expect of a hotel that would be hosting a blues festival, and not one that you would think would be letting the likes of us stay in such a.
Well, blues started
Kind of
everything.
hotel.
I know that.
Yeah.
I always believe that anyway. Blues music.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I went in and talked to Randy about possibly doing some work, Laurie and I, and we ended up agreeing on an idea for a blues festival, and that's how it happened a few months ago. And as it turns out, it's going to be a few days before Sammy's birthday. Little Sammy Davis is turning 83 on November 28th.
How is
Right.
Sammy, by the way?
Sammy's doing a lot better these days, I'm happy to say.
That's good.
He's got his good days and his bad days, but he's been looking real good. And I told him about this, and he was beside himself. And we're actually bringing him up on Saturday.
Oh, you did find
Oh,
somebody?
great.
I was trying to find somebody for you for that, but
Well, it came down to we got the van, which was donated by an agency, which I really should know the name of. But I will say that my good friend Chuck Mitchell, or Charles Mitchell, most of you probably know who that is, did us a favor and actually put this into place. Otherwise, I'm somebody with a lot of good ideas, but I don't have a clue how to facilitate half of them. And
well, that's what
luckily-
happens when you're putting all that stuff together. There's always a stone thrown in the mix. It's like you think, oh, this is gonna be. I get all these bands, and all of a sudden, wait a minute, now I got to get a van.
Quite
Yeah,
an
well,
undertaking, the whole thing.
Right.
yeah. Well, I got a lot of great people around me, and I've got LaurieAnn. We've been playing.
Well, I know
together.
she's a
new
great
band.
singer. I've heard her sing many times.
Yep.
Thank you.
With Jim times.
Yep.
Thank you.
With Jim Bagley and them back in the
Yes,
Silver
my friend
Dollar
Jim
days.
Bagley. I
They
have to
played
tell
there.
In
him
the
I mentioned his
70s, back
name
in the
on TV.
70s.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I put this on Facebook, so you'll see this on Facebook
Oh, okay.
also.
I'll have to tell him. Yeah, okay, good.
I'll send it to you. You'll get a copy on Facebook.
Cool. Great.
And it'll be on YouTube. And now, where is it over in? So Fred and them can tell all their friends. It'll be on next week.
On Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. in Newburgh, Cornwall, and Eastern Orange County, Washingtonville areas. And Wednesday at 9 p.m. in Middletown, Pine Bush, all of Sullivan counties, also Poughkeepsie area in Dutchess County.
Cool.
And then we'll ship the show to Manhattan.
Manhattan.
And we're on
Cable.
2:30 Wednesday mornings on Manhattan Cable, the Lifestyle channel.
Three separate channels.
It's
down
three
there.
separate cable
Nice.
providers in Manhattan, but it's on the same time, and they put it on the same
Oh,
time.
wow.
So that's really cool.
Really?
Yeah.
So somebody likes this
Boy, Carl.
hillbilly.
And I think I
telling
saw
you.
you play with Street Talk with Debbie Major in the.
You know what?
we're going to date
You know,
ourselves
you-
at like the mid '80s, something like
Yeah,
that.
I was going to
with
say
Debbie?
you look very familiar.
Yeah.
He was,
The
a
old-
guy, he was a guy crawling out the bar at the
At
end.
the Ramada Inn in Newburgh.
I was going to say,
Was-
but of course, yeah, we had a lot of fun there. We had a
you had,
pretty
you had a
long
lot of
stretch there.
you had a lot of shows there.
Now, what's some of the
regulars, yeah.
groups
Yeah.
you got so far coming to this big bash?
Oh my God! Well, just about everybody, everybody that I hate to say it, but I'm going to
You
just
had a
say
real
that
nice lineup.
the best
Really
of
good.
the best of the whole area, and some of our good friends on this bill are local, and we're all friends, but they are national and emerging international and national artists. So
Great.
starting with, actually, we have a couple of former Levon Helm associates, myself included, but more notably, first and foremost, Chris O'Leary, who is winning awards left and right as the best new or up. I don't know if you'd call him up and coming, because he's been at it for quite a
Right.
while. He was in the Barn Burners before I was in the Levon Helm band. But anyway, Chris O'Leary is going to be headlining Saturday night. Alexis P. Suter, who made a big name for herself up at the Rambles as well, is going to be headlining on Friday. Morale Coriel is going to be playing on Friday night as well. Bobby Kyle from right over here in
Bobby.
the area.
Yeah, I know him well. Yep.
Bob, as a matter of fact, I tried to get Bobby over here tonight. Bobby, I will be talking to you later. Anyway, I said, I told him the door would be open. Of course, it's probably locked, but he'd be banging right now. So anyway, Bobby Kyle's going to be on Friday night. We're going to be on Saturday night. Of course, I'm going to be floating around, playing with various people. There's going to be a jam both days. Friday, starting at 5 o'clock. Saturday, all the festivities are going to start around noon. and there's going to be a jam around 5. There's going to be music starting at 4 on Friday, and it's going to be starting around noon on Saturday.
So that's actually, it's Thanksgiving weekend. Everybody's off.
2 days.
That's right.
Get
Well,
out.
that's
It's easy
the
to
idea.
get to, too. It's right off exit 109. You can see it from the highway.
can see
I mean,
it.
it's right there.
You
So
can see
there's
it.
no excuse. You're not going to get lost, folks.
10, 15 minutes past Wurtsboro. I mean,
That's it.
Big Joe Fitz, who you might know from WDST. He's a personality on WDST. He is also going to be playing Saturday night. And a great harmonica virtuoso, Frank Latore, who I had the pleasure of playing with a number of times years ago at a festival at Ben Marl Winery. Well, he's on Johnny Winter's new album, and he just opened
wow.
up for him at BB King's. He's coming in on Saturday. We're backing him up. We're also backing up Dan Brother from Middletown. He's going to be playing. Actually, I believe Dan is on Friday night. So we've got Frank Latore, Bobby Kyle. We're backing up Saturday. And we're also going to be backing up some different people like Dan Brother. We've got a couple of house bands going. Petey Hop is also on. And we're going to be backing him up Friday night. We got Paul DiDio, who's been an old friend of mine, and he's been making noise. He was playing with Joe Louis Walker doing some shows, and Paul DiDio is going to be on. Ken Bowles is going to be hosting the jam Friday night, and we have a couple of others like Taz Crew, and like you'd think I was nervous or something.
Yeah, you're on this big time show.
I think that's about it. I can't forget this. I was starting to say what great people I have surrounding me. Not only do we have great acts, but the reason this is going to be so great is because, of course, Randy Resnick. But I also have John Rockland, who's out of Honesdale, who's going to be the house photographer, who's made quite a name for himself as a iconic blues and rock photographer. Rob Canillo, who has his own festival, Rock the Mountain.
We've had him on here.
Yeah, I just played with Rob at his festival a few months ago, and Rob's been throwing me all kinds of work, and he's on board here. And let me tell you, people like Rob, John Rockland, my friend Jason Brennan, who's taken care of all kinds of stuff, and been taking care of me for even longer than that, but we won't go into that. Many good friends, and really it's a few days before Sammy's birthday, and we're having a big blues festival.
That's gonna be great.
It was going to be a birthday celebration. It just so happens when it comes to Sammy, we can't do anything small, and it turns out it's going to be a rather big event.
Well, I know.
It's gonna be a
Thanks to
blast.
Randy Resnick and the Resnick family up in Rock Hill.
Well, Sammy's one of the best showmen I've ever ran into, and he's actually on 2 of my albums also,
Yeah.
playing 5 or 6 songs.
Sure,
And,
sure.
He says, I want to play on a country album. I go, I got no money. He goes, I want to play. I didn't ask you none of them questions. I said, well, if you want to play,
Sounds like
come,
Sammy.
I says, come on down. So he played on 2 different of my projects, and you could tell his style of playing is like brings the music up to another. You know, when you start bringing people like in that, like Fred, it brings the music to a different level.
Yeah.
And
Thank you,
When
Carl.
you hear an album that they play on, you just automatically know by the sound of it that it's Sammy. You know, and him, it's a different kind of sound.
well, we got tapes of Fred and
Okay,
Sam.
thank you.
Fred, we got Fred and Sammy on some tapes. They've been down on my show many different times too, and
Yeah, every now and then, you know, I hear people tell me they still see clips on your
I
show.
plug it. Yeah,
I know.
I really like your stuff and your music, and
Well, thank you, Carl.
we go back a long way. And
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
Now, something that people might not know is you were the house band for Imus.
Yeah,
Imus
for
in the
many
morning.
years. Yep.
oh yeah, him and Sammy was on there forever.
Yeah, people might not know that.
Yeah.
What was that like working with Imus?
Well, you know, he's always been a great friend. You know, he can be rather difficult, and he is exactly the way he comes off.
Yeah.
Pretty
Well, that's what
much.
people.
If he
That's
don't
what people
like you,
like
he'll
about
tell you,
him.
I know.
What you hear on the radio is how he is off
He must be in his
camera too,
90s
right?
by now,
No,
isn't he?
he's getting up
No,
there.
he-
He's been
is
talking
he?
about retiring for the last, you know.
No,
Well,
he's
you know,
probably
we,
in his-
and we had
probably in
Larry
his 70s,
Chance on
right?
here who
Yeah.
used to do his voices for 10
Larry,
years.
yeah,
right.
we've had Larry on a few times.
And I didn't know that. And I was like, holy cow. I was like, you know, you never meet all these people. and he's so casual about it. Oh, yeah, you did all his voices. And I was like, I used to listen to that all the time and heard you guys on here off and on.
Yeah, well, you know, we met so many interesting people on shows like Imus's show, but after a while, you really forget that anybody is anything other than just another character. Like Sammy, the greatest quote of Sammy, he's even worse than me. I mean, you know, I'll be on stage with people and I won't find out that I played with, you know, all kinds of people until after the fact, until people ask me what it was like to play with Donald Fagen, and I'm like, well, did I? Yeah, I guess I did, and other people like that. So one day we're playing we're doing a gig in Middletown, and this college girl comes up to Sammy and says, "Are you Sammy Davis, the one from Mississippi?" He goes, "Yeah, what about it?" She goes, "Your name was the answer to a question on my college final today." Sammy goes, "Older I gets, more I learns about myself."
That sounds like Sammy.
It's like asking him. I couldn't wait to find out he played with Levon up at UPAC, opened up for Dylan, you know. And, you know, I've never had the pleasure of running into Dylan, but, you know, one day. But, you know, I couldn't wait to ask Sammy what it was like opening up for him. So, Sammy, so how was it playing with Bob Dylan? He goes, "Who?" I'm like, you know, the guy who, you know, can't play harmonica too good, but, you know, writes great songs and everybody loves him. "Oh, I don't know. It was all right." I'm like, he's not fazed by anybody. And in this business, you know, you find out everybody's a person, and, you know, you forget names, and it's convenient because our memories are all shot anyway.
Well, a lot of them, like, I got to meet Willie a couple times when we opened for him, and once you get past the entourage, you get on the bus.
And the smoke.
Guy.
Yeah, well, the smoke.
You were on the bus. You were on the
You couldn't
bus.
see on the bus. He told me to sit down because I told him, "You got a cauldron going here?"
Well, yeah, you probably got a rush.
And he just told me sit down. But I had some JD with him and got him drunk. But anyway, that's another
That was
story.
before the show, right?
That I can't mention. But
Willie's another one. You gotta love Willie. I mean, I'd
Like
love
a
to
regular
meet.
guy.
he thought I brought the whole choir and everybody. I brought like 15 people when we opened for him. He goes, "I never seen a local band bring that many people." I said, "I might only pass through here once, and you're making all the money." And he liked us from that, and we just played what we played. We loved to play, and he liked it. So we played for him a couple times, and he likes it.
Wow.
Because he don't like the phony stuff. He had a girl singer, and she had all tracks behind her with her band. He goes, "They didn't even have a fiddle player. Where was it?"
Oh, wow.
I said, "Well, it was on tracks." He goes, "Oh, that's not playing." You know, he
you gotta
really went
hate
off the
that.
rocker on that stuff. He says, "I like real music." I said, "Well, I like it too."
You gotta hate it.
You know.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. You know, back in the '80s or whenever it was that they started using drum machines on everything. You know,
We didn't use none in the silver dollar. We used a mechanical bull. That was about it.
Was there a bull there at that time?
When I was there, yeah, we sort of closed the place. We were there 3 years in the end. And I think we folded the joint up. I don't know.
Wow. Well, you know, I played in Laurie's band back in the early '80s.
Yeah, early 80s.
Until I double booked a gig with Little Elliot Lloyd, and I set Laurie and Alex, her brother, up with one of my students, Frank Johns, and I never heard from Laurie again for 28 years. She contacts
It gets
me
like that. I understand,
on
Laurie.
Facebook, and it was perfect timing because, you know,
We get that black marker out.
Yeah.
Scribner.
Facebook is.
No, and I nothing against him. You know, there was just, you know, it's
It just
how
worked out
is.
that way.
Yeah, life happened. I stopped singing for all of them.
These freelance guitar players, you know how it is.
They're the worst.
Facebook has
I've
reunited
had
so
so
many
many,
bands,
Facebook
right?
is- yeah.
It's amazing.
I've had so many of them tell me they're great, and they say to me, "I can play anything that you play and better." I go, "Well, a lot of people can do that," but I said, do you know when I stop and start and end?" "Well, no." I said, "Then how do you play it any better than I do?" Because every singer has their own routine.
Exactly.
You know, so it's, but it's always been
Well,
fun.
you know, I feel there's room for everybody. You know, I mean, it's such a competitive business, and especially on the local level. I mean, there's really no need for everybody to be like, you know, trying to put a knife in each
Well,
other's
there's
back.
nothing you can do anyway because the record companies do whatever they want, and that's why I went to all the independent radio stations, and they'll play your stuff. Where you get to the big commercial stations, it's fed to them. They play what they have to play,
well.
and you can't get in.
Well, you know, they talk about payola in the old days. Well,
They still do
I'm not
it.
going to say anything.
No, they still do it.
Yeah, they
It's
just
out
call
there.
it something else.
Yeah.
For
Well,
sure.
they make words up for it, and then I had a guy say, "Well, I'll never give up my publishing," and I said, "You'll never go nowhere because they want you're a product.
Oh, yeah.
They want to own you.
But of course, yeah.
Of course, they'll never own me because that's it.
Well,
I'll
you
be
know,
broke the rest of my life. I'll have fun.
You know, somebody should have took me aside and told me about the music business before I decided I
tried,
wanted
Fred.
to be a
You
musician.
thought I was just
when
a
I was
hillbilly.
5 years old, but I don't think they would have been able to talk me out of it anyway. So the point is, I love to play music. So you know.
I remember when you was 5. I had a
Oh,
pooper scooper running behind you. Come on, Fred, you and your brother. His brother's a great musician too.
Yeah,
I never
he
knew he
is.
could play the piano. And then one time he like ripped something off, and I go, I didn't even know he
He's
played
playing
it.
piano with us
Yeah,
now.
he's playing it in our.
He's a talented
cool.
guy.
Yeah,
too.
we have
Very
a new
cool.
band. We're calling it the Midnight Slim Revival. Laurie's singing. My
I love it.
brother's on
Great.
piano.
I'm
Rob
glad I
Curtis
see you
on
singing.
drums.
So listen, we're gonna play. How many songs did you give around there for this that you wanted to play? Just
But you
one
know
or-
what? I didn't tell her which ones. Why don't you play? Why don't you play the first song on each album? That'll work, or either one.
So play a couple in a row.
Either Sammy.
And that way
album.
we can get a picture of the poster and everything, and you can go get tuned up the way you want to get tuned up.
Oh, I'm all ready to go. I never.
you
bothered,
ready?
I never bothered tuning.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't gonna mess with that.
Well,
Oh,
we want to play this,
yeah, the two Sammy albums.
and you'll hear it, and then you can tell us what it's going to be, and we'll show your poster wherever he's got that.
Well, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, I'd
Yeah,
I'd
That's
also
okay.
like-
We'll show it a million times. We want people to come out. This is great. It's Thanksgiving weekend, and
No excuses. Everybody's off. It's going to be a long weekend. Most people are
Yeah.
off Friday too.
And you
Right.
better get your rooms and tickets soon because I can tell you, it is selling out fast. By the way, tickets, you can get your tickets at 845-796-3100. That's the Sullivan Hotel.
All right.
Day passes for the event are $20. $30 is for 2 days. $99 a room, and you can't walk in
Can't
that
beat
hotel and get a room for much less than a couple of $100.
That's
On a
right.
regular night, they slash the prices for everything. We want this to be a big event. We want everybody to come. There's an all-access pass for 2 days. I believe that's $79 or $7. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember all that, but you can find it
75,
all
I
out.
think.
Is that what it is?
75.
There's a
you can't
package.
beat
That's a
that.
great deal too for a room because a buddy of mine went up to Bethel to see a concert and he stayed there and it was over 200 for the night for a room. So you guys, that's a nice break.
Well, this is a luxury
On the-
hotel.
yes,
It's
it
brand
is.
new.
Yep, everything's
and
renovated.
It's ridiculously cheap.
all right, we're
That's a
gonna.
really good deal.
Why don't you just play 2 cuts, Lo, so we can right in a row? Can we just play 2 right in a row?
Sure, why not?
And
Absolutely.
you can talk about it when after it's over, and we'll show your poster there for the event.
Sounds good.
Anytime you're ready.
Sounds like a title cut.
I got a handful of sugar, a handful of salt. And God made women and I love them all. I ain't lying. I ain't lying. I ain't lying to you, honey, this time I'm telling the truth. You know, God made a woman, he made her kind of funny. I kissed her in the mouth and she was sweet like honey. I ain't lying.
All right, there we go.
Unbelievable.
Man, that was a
Sam.
jamming tune, too.
Yeah, we got to mention one more. They were both very good tunes. We got to mention one more time. The Sullivan County Blues and Music Festival is coming up Friday and Saturday, folks, at the Sullivan Hotel. It's right off exit 109 on 17.